get squeezed, and well, this week, no obsession, no exception, getting squeezed again, which is preventing me from doing my long usual streams, but I have time for this. And what I thought to do with this one is take a look at, and sorry, my one of my monitors is this way, so you see me turning that way. It's usually looking at my monitor, and my chair is shrinking beneath me. I posted this on the forums, and if you feel like taking part in the forums, it's at forums.hexed.press. I was on Discord, and someone threw out there, I think as part of a larger conversation that I missed most of, about ghouls and how the ghoul, as we see it in a kind of D&D-esque game, is not the ghoul of mythology, or at least not at its root. So it led me to want to take a look at the ghouls. So I went to Wikipedia, and they have an entry on ghouls, and it's actually a fairly, I don't know what I say, expansive. I don't know. I mean, I don't have any way of judging how good the content about ghouls, but it talks about the fact that the ghoul as it is now is not really what ghouls were originally. I think it comes. There's some discussion about where the Western version of the ghoul is, but the original version, and of course it seems to be a little bit, maybe if not dodgy, but I noticed that there aren't, some of these things aren't cited, so who knows how much difference there is. But anyway, let's just get to it. It says that ghouls as a desert-dwelling, shape-shifting demon that can assume the guise of an animal, especially a hyena. It lures unwary people into the desert wastes or abandoned places to slay and devour them. The creature also preys on young children, drinks blood, steals coins, and eats the dead, then taking the form of the person most recently eaten. And then it also says that one of the narratives identified a ghoul named Ghoul-e-Biaban, a particularly monstrous character believed to be inhabiting the wastes of Afghanistan and in Iran. I couldn't find any more information on Ghoul-e-Biaban, but I was just looking for a couple of minutes, so I might need to look more in that. But the idea of the ghoul as more of a almost a mimic or a skinwalker or shapeshifter type character is kind of super interesting. It makes them seem makes them a lot more differentiated, let's say, from some of the other undead. Not Goat asked if I've played Ghouls and Goblins before. I used to love Ghouls and Goblins and Super Ghouls and Goblins, though I never made it particularly far. Those games are hard. I think, gosh, I can't even remember what level. I remember I actually had to watch on YouTube way back when. I used to really like, well, I do still enjoy sometimes watching these long plays of kind of old C64, Commodore 64, and Amiga games, because I had those computers. And I've definitely watched some extended play just to see the end of what the heck is at the bottom of Ghouls and Goblins. Yes, we are talking about the D&D, yes. Well, I mean, we're talking specifically somewhat about D&D. I guess, yeah, in terms of, I think what we think about now, right, if we're looking at the ghoul, what we think about now in the ghoul is kind of this D&D, and I guess also sort of Lovecraftian sort of thing of the kind of skulker in cemeteries that just is sort of, I guess, definitely the eating things, I think, is definitely there, right? The eating of things where they're living, I guess, or deceased. And then in D&D, they got the paralysis. It'd be interesting. I don't know if someone's done a write-up on where the D&D ghoul, the paralysis bit, comes from. Player asks how Lovecraftian. Well, I know there's some stories. Some of the Lovecraft stories have essentially ghouls in them. I don't know if Lovecraft calls them ghouls, and I wish I could. I don't have time, and I don't have the books in front of me to look at and figure out which stories are. But if you look at least one of the Lovecraft stories, there's one in particular where the guy goes and he's a research, or not researching. He's investigating something, and then he goes in some basement, and there is pretty much a ghoul, or something similar enough to be a ghoul that I would probably say, looking at it, at least in retrospect, from now you go, oh, that's a ghoul. Again, I don't remember what Lovecraft call it. They're not vampire thralls technically, and they're not. Well, they are kind of zombies. They're more. So they've got so zombies. I think by default in D&D, zombies, there's no real motivation given or any kind of powers given to zombies other than the fact they just attack and kill you. Whereas ghouls specifically, and let me see if I can pull something up. Hold on, where's my book? Hold on a second. Just knocked something over. Okay. A whole bunch of books just got knocked over. All right, let's see. Ooh, we got 3 minutes. All right, ghouls. I'm looking at Basic Expert, so not 5th edition. Basic Expert from 1981 and EF. Oh no, I'm an O. EFG, ghoul, gecko, lizard man. Oh, that's this lizard. Gray ooze, green slime, gnomes, goblins. Hold on a minute. I don't have time to waste, and I'm wasting it. Okay, so here's the description from Basic Expert. Ghouls are undead creatures. They are hideous, beast-like humans who will attack anything living. Any attack by a ghoul will paralyze any creature of ogre size or smaller that they hit successfully, except for elves, unless the victim makes a save versus paralysis. Once an opponent is paralyzed, the ghoul will turn and attack another opponent until either the ghoul or all the opponents are paralyzed or dead. So, putting aside the kind of the gamist mechanical bits of what to do, how the ghouls attack in terms of using their paralysis, they paralyze you and then I guess presumably eat you. That's kind of what they do. And they're a big feature of your cemeteries, crypts, pretty much anywhere. But the original ghoul, this kind of Arab myth ghoul, is much more like some kind of shapeshifter. Ghouls, I think they're called ghasts, right? Or the ghouls that are more intelligent. So ghouls aren't particularly intelligent. They're kind of mindless, but they are definitely statistically they're a step above, right? If you have skeletons and you go zombies, ghouls are the next step up, and then I think ghasts are the more intelligent ones. They're a step up from there. These are kind of a whole different kind of thing. Now, granted, what they have in common is they eat people or bodies, living or dead, right? They got that part. But there's the shape-shifting part, the fact that they're trying to lure you into wastes or abandoned places to then to slay and devour you, the idea that they might take on the shape of what they eat. Pretty cool. I love the connection with the hyena, and it's giving me some ideas. So on some other streams, the horizontal streams, I've been working on a starter adventure, and I have a ghoul that's featured in that adventure. But I'm thinking now to swap that ghoul that was essentially going to be a stereotypical D&D ghoul to one of these creatures, which I am calling. So I got to run, but just in a second, what I did was, and you can go to my forums. If you go to forums.hex.press, you'll see the posting that I just put up. Apparently, the word ghoul comes from the Arabic word meaning to seize. I went to some kind of old school kind of etymological dictionaries, and the Proto-Indo-European word for seize, or at least one of them, is Gend, G-H-E-N-D. I'm guessing that ghoul and Gend are related. They seem to be very similar, at least the way we kind of spell it out. English-wise, they probably are related. I'm going to build a separate creature. I'm going to call it Gend, because I don't want to step on, even though it'd be great to say I could go herder, this is the original ghoul. I'm not going to, everyone has these ideas of what a ghoul is. I'm not going to step on them. I'll rather just make a separate creature and I can kind of start fresh. But I think I want to dive into that and really embrace some of those things and kind of change up that creature. Has I've ever thought about the ghoulish World War I British or French soldier, it would be cool. Totally different genre, but absolutely. Yes, kind of a ghoulish type creatures. I mean, ghoulish as some kind of tag or characteristic, like they have dire, a dire wolf, a ghoulish wolf. Would be very cool. Anyhow, I have to run, but I thought that was really cool. So if you want to kind of help me brainstorm some stuff out, you can come to the Discord, or come to my Discord, which links are somewhere, or come to my forums at forums.hexpress, or just leave a comment below letting me know what you feel like about what could be a good skill or ability or something characteristic of these gens, these kind of carnivorous, shape-shifting undead creatures. I got a jet. Game on. Talk to you later. Yes, night ghouls with swords would be awesome. Later, skaters.